Assalamualaikum. And good morning, Dr. Hannah.
Waalaikumsalam.
Hannah, we cannot hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay, now can. Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay.
How are you, Dr. Hannah?
I'm good, Alhamdulillah. Thank you. How are you?
I'm okay.
You'll have to excuse me. I think my voice might be a little shaky because I'm just recovering from like a cold. So
Oh.
yeah. I mean, I'm fine now. Just my voice might be not so clear. I'll
Okay,
try my
it's
best.
okay. How are you, Prosam?
Hi, Professor. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good to see you
What
again.
time? What
Yeah.
time now in India?
8:30.
8:30? Okay. All right. So, Prof. Sam, is there any lecturer from SASI will join us?
Yes, they'll be.
Okay.
Just give me a second. I'll just check with them.
Okay,
Just a
sure.
second. Yeah.
Sure.
They're joining in, Professor.
Yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay. Dr. Hannah, are you ready?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, everyone. Yeah, especially to Prof. Sam and all lecturers from SASI, yeah, and the students from SASI, and to all my students from UTM, yeah, and Dr. Hannah, yeah. Okay. Allow me to introduce our speaker for today's topic. Yeah. Our speaker name is Dr. Siti Ismail. She's from landscape department, yeah. And Dr. Hannah got her bachelor in landscape architecture from International Islamic University Malaysia in Gombak, Malaysia. And then she further studied in Master of Art in landscape management from University of Sheffield, and PhD also in from University of Sheffield. Yeah, and then Dr. Hannah also her research interest in urban green infrastructure, climate change adaptation through sustainable approaches, sustainable water management strategies, and also functional plans. Yeah, right. Without further ado, I would like to invite our speaker to deliver her speech, yeah, her lecture. Okay, the floor is yours, yeah, Hannah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Faizal. Okay, let me just share my screen. Okay, can you all see the screen? All right, great. Okay, first of all, thank you so much, Dr. Faizal, for introducing me, and thank you for inviting me to give this sharing session. Okay, so my name is Siti and I'm a lecturer at the Landscape Architecture Department from the University Technology Malaysia. And I would like to welcome to the architecture students from our university, UTM, and also landscape architecture students, and also the students and lecturers who are joining us from the Sasi Creative School of Architecture in India. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us. So today my sharing session will be about harmonizing design with nature. Okay, so first of all, if you want to create or design that harmonizes with nature, the first thing that you need to do is, of course, you need to understand the nature. Okay, so what does the nature provide? What does it give to you, to animals, wildlife, to plants, to the environment? Okay, so what does it provide? Okay, you need to understand the benefits of nature, okay, in order for you to appreciate and integrate nature within your design. So it doesn't matter whether it's architectural design, okay, building designs, or landscape designs. Okay, so here are some of the things or the benefits that you can get from nature, and I'm not going to go through each and every one of this, otherwise we'll be here for 3 hours long, and I don't think any of us will want that. Okay, so I'm just going to give a brief overview of what it can provide to you in terms of provisioning. Okay, so what nature can provide to us. Okay, it can provide us water supply, obviously. Okay, raw materials, wood, timber. Okay, medicines, herbs. Okay, and also our source of food. Okay, and then nature can also regulate our microclimate, for example. Okay, it can provide us clean air. Okay, it purifies the air. It cools down the temperature. Okay, it helps store carbon within its system. Okay, and then it can also support us by providing us healthy soil for us to cultivate. Okay, and it provides us nutrients. Okay, and then culturally, for us human beings, nature helps to offer us the ability for us to increase our health, okay, physically and also mentally. Okay, it provides us a space for recreation. Okay, and it gives us a sense of stress relieving. Okay, so that's what nature can do to us human beings. So our relationship with nature goes beyond just having to be there and experience nature. It goes up to even spirituality. Okay, so what does it mean to design with nature? Okay, what is our role as landscape designers? And here I've put some quotes that I feel is very relevant to how we designers can design with nature from like 10, 20 decades ago up till now. Okay, people are still researching on what you can do, what we can do in order to integrate nature with us at the best and the most effective way possible. Okay, so one of the science director of a resilience center in Sweden says, nature, designing with nature is about reconnecting people to the planet that highlights the necessity of stewardship of our own future with the biosphere that we are embedded and dependent upon. Okay, it provides us with new opportunities for prosperity and significant way forward towards sustainability. Okay, I think you've all heard that everyone is talking about sustainability, but do we actually know what is sustainability? Okay, everyone wants to come on board with sustainability, but do you have the understanding of how to create sustainability? Okay, and designing with nature is also about understanding the changes that nature go through. Okay, nature changes from time time to time, and so our relationship with nature will also change. Okay, And that goes towards our design too. Okay, your design from 20 years ago until now will change in terms of concept, in terms of functionality. Okay, you are responding to the differences or the changes of nature. Okay, and that's how it should be. Okay, so it's an ongoing project of understanding the world or the environment around us. Okay, so you need to keep track, okay, or to keep to follow up what is going on with nature in order for you to respond to nature within your design. Okay, and then it's about putting together again the entire system. Okay, in this one, it may be that I think we've all heard that, you know, people, I don't want to say the word destroy, but we alter the nature. Okay, we alter the nature, and some of the alterations have made negative impacts towards nature, and we want to put it back together. Okay, and it is about to respect, okay, to respect nature. Okay, to respect what nature has provided for us, and we as stewards of the earth, as the people living on the earth, occupying the nature itself, we want to respect and give back to nature. Okay, and one more is that I feel I would like to mention is um, a quote that says, "We as designers, we do not need to emulate nature, but instead we need to consider human nature and habitat so we can exist in solidarity. Okay, we can exist in harmony. Okay, so we strive by advancing the interplay and respect between ourselves and nature, to encourage generosity, offer inspiration, and embody rational functionality within our constructed environment or within our design." Okay, you want to exist in harmony with nature. You don't want, you know, being in a certain hard or built structure to be separated from being in nature. Okay. So to design a more sustainable and livable spaces requires the integration of a natural system with the artificial or man-made systems. Okay, so what we create, what is not already in nature, we want to integrate them together. Okay, and this integration, it will be the integration of ecosystem services. Okay, along with aesthetic and also sensory presence to create a more enriched and meaningful experience and also environment. For who? For the user, for us. Okay, for us, for the animals, and even also for the planet and the environment. Okay, so why is it important to design with nature, you may ask? Okay, for my landscape architecture students, because we have, that's what we do. Okay, we design with nature, we use nature within our design. Okay, but for maybe architecture students, you might have you know, question yourself, like, why do I need to design with nature? You know, it is to create a more resilient environment. Okay, that's one of the reasons. Okay, because designing with nature provides you a better resilience. Okay, because green spaces, I think I mentioned just now, green spaces, it helps you, it helps the environment in terms of reducing carbon dioxide. Okay, and then with providing or act as sustainable drainage systems, it regulates heat and temperature. Okay, it acts as a wind shelter. Okay, natural wind shelter. Okay, and then it also provides opportunities as habitat for the wildlife. Okay, it increases biodiversity. Okay, there's so many reasons to why you'd want to integrate nature within your design. Okay, so I keep talking about greens and trees. So is it just about the greens? Can I just take trees and just plant it next to a building, and then there we go, I've designed with nature? Okay, it's not as simple as that. Okay, So when we want to design with nature, the way we occupy and modify the earth is best when it is planned. Okay, it's carefully planned, it's thought about, it's thought of, okay, and it's designed with careful regard to both the ecology and the character of the landscape. You don't simply put a tree just to a building and you feel and you say, okay, I've put nature around my building, that's it, it's done. Okay, it's not as simple as that. Because if it was as simple as that, you wouldn't be here to understand the strategies of designing with nature. Okay, so here are some of the strategies or ways in which you can integrate nature within your design in order to create a harmonious design or space. Okay, so obviously there are more to it than just these 4 points, but I'm just going to elaborate on these 4 points that I feel is more relevant to both disciplines of landscape architecture and also architecture. Okay, so the first one is for you to appreciate your site. Okay, so when you, as a designer, you want to create or design a certain space, I'm just going to refer as a space. I'm not going to refer a building or even a landscape park because we have the both disciplines here. So I'm just going to make it a bit more general. So when you want to design a space, you need to understand the site. Okay, you need to do a site appreciation analysis, or you could say, okay, you need to be on the site and see what is on the site. Okay, how are you going to make use of the site, take advantage of what is on the site? Okay, the natural elements that is already on the site, the topography, okay, the trees that is there. Okay, so when you go and how are you going to do this? You need to be there at the site. You as a designer of the space, you need to be there. Okay, you cannot simply look at a picture, look at a plan, and then you start designing. No, but you can, but it's not the correct way to do it. Okay, you as a designer, you need to feel the site. You need to feel, you need to get the ambience. You need to get the feeling of what your user will feel like when they enter the site. So you as a designer will go to the site at its raw form without before you even start designing, and you will start appreciating what is on the site. What is the existing features on the site? Are there any water bodies? Okay, what are the water elements on the site? Okay, and then look at the landform. How is the landform built? Not built, I mean like the existing landform. Okay, what is the sunlight like? Is it very, very hot? Where is the sun coming from? Where is the shadow? Okay, where is the cool shaded area? Okay, and then look at and then try to feel how the air is, how the environment is. Okay, where do you need to stand in order for you to have a better a more comfortable maybe a more comfortable spot? Okay, where is it that you need to stand? Where is the wind coming from? Okay, and then obviously look at the greeneries. Okay, how does the greeneries look like? Where is it? Which area is it shading? Okay, and which area is it providing an opening for a view, for example? Okay, and how are you going to do this? Is through site analysis, site inventory, site analysis, and also synthesizing your findings. Okay, so I'm not going to go into detail about what these are, but I'll just give a brief overview of what site inventory are. Okay, so a site inventory and analysis are steps in the design process that is used to assess the existing conditions of the site. Okay, you will go there and assess and evaluate what is already there on the site and whether or not you should maintain it or keep it for the sake of you achieving your design later on. Okay, so it's basically a list of elements that exist on the site. Okay, and maybe the site context. Okay, what is the on the surrounding of your site? Okay, you would want to know the site context in order for you to relate your design with the surrounding environment. Okay, because you don't want you creating a very, a very, very nice, elegant design, but then your surrounding is not relating, okay, it's not corresponding to your design. Okay, that's why you need to understand what is on the context, what is the site context. Okay, and then the location of the inventory elements are then recorded on a base map. Okay, I think all of you know what a base map is, or a site plan. Okay, and then you just show symbols that indicates whatever you have inventoried. Okay, so here on the right image are some of the things that you will consider when you go for a site inventory visits. Okay, what is the circulation like? Okay, is it how is the flow of the user? Are all circulation provided, even to, are pathways provided? Okay, what is the topography like? Okay, existing vegetation. Okay, what is the soil type and drainage in order for you to, especially for landscape design, is in order for you to plant a certain vegetation. Okay, how is the drainage and the soil characteristic like? Okay, what is the view? Okay, what is the view towards a certain angle? Okay, so this, because this, especially when you design a building, you'd want to see what the what the occupant can see. Okay, what is the view that they are able to see? What is the sound like? What can you hear when you go to the site? For example, if you hear unpleasant sound that you feel like you don't want your user or your occupied to experience while being on your site, so what do you need to do about that? Okay, is there some kind of a buffer element that you need to provide, okay, to block the noise? Okay, wildlife. Are there any wildlife that exist in the site? Okay, and then obviously microclimate. Okay, so that's about site inventory. It's about you listing down what you see in front of you at the site. Okay, and then after you've done all the list, you have all the list of the existing features, you then analyze those lists. Okay, you start thinking the process of you to think about what you want in the future for your design. You start to think about it here at your site analysis. Okay, so when you've evaluated when you've identified the site, you start evaluating the site. Okay, and once the elements are identified, the pros and cons of each element are then evaluated. Okay, whether you try to understand, okay, this is the strength of the site, a SWOT analysis that we often do. So SWOT stands for strength, weakness, it's a SWOT. I'm sorry, opportunities and threat. Okay, so what are the threats on the site? What are the opportunities that you can use? Okay, and a site analysis is basically a judgment about the condition and the activities to take place in order for you to achieve the desired design. Okay, what do you want to remove? What do you want to maintain? What do you want to add? What do you want to make, enlarge? Okay, so this is when you start thinking about towards achieving your desired design, your design intention. Okay, and then your synthesis will consist of actions that needs to be taken to resolve any problems or identify design opportunities for locating new features. So usually a site has the typical problems of drainage problems, of the site, especially in Malaysia, of the site being very, very hot. Okay, so all those issues that you'd want to identify and possibly resolve through your design. Okay. Okay, so this is an example of an inventory and analysis process. Okay, so this designer went to this site on the left. So the left is the inventoried site. So what they have done is they have identified what is the existing feature. Okay, for example, where the existing trees are. Okay, what is the view? Okay, where is water coming down from? Okay, are there any view that is unpleasant, like trash? Okay, and then where it really is about are there any issues about any like erosion issues, okay, runoff issues on the site, okay, that you may want to address. So when you've identified that on the site, and then you start doing your analysis process, which is this image on the left, sorry, on the right. Okay, so then this designer has, when they have identified the view, where the trees are, where the existing trees are, how big the road or the path is, and then they start to underpin what they want, okay, in order for them to design their own design in the future. Okay, so some of the examples here that I'd like to mention is here. You can see on the right here, it says wider walk. So they'd like a wider, to make the pathway a little bit wider, but they want to keep the view from the street open. Okay, and then add more trees for shade. So that's very common synthesis. Okay, add more trees for shade, and then they want to maintain the swale, enlarge the bed. So these are the things that the action. Okay, so the list and then the action of the process of you towards you creating a certain design. Okay. Okay, so then now we're looking into weather pattern response. So when you design with nature, you need to consider and acknowledge that the microclimate exists and the complexity of the microclimates. Okay, and that microclimate is ever changing and is not stagnant, and it will change between minutes, seconds. Okay, so you need to understand this and acknowledge this. Okay, so for example, a city design may have a negative impact on air quality, which causes a building to spend more money in terms of energy. Okay, if the city is very hot, then the building may be required to turn on the aircon for about 12 hours a day, depending on what building it is. Okay, but it depends on how you integrate nature and how you can help to avoid this energy consumption by buildings. Okay, by integrating the natural elements of trees, for example, because it helps clean the air and it helps to avoid the effects of urban heat islands. Okay, because it helps to regulate temperature and while improving thermal comfort. Okay, so it depends on what you do in order for you to respond to the certain climate or microclimate. Okay, so what you need to consider is the landscape elements that you will be integrating within the design. Okay, the building shapes, orientation, ventilation, the form of your structure, the materials that is used. Okay, so you don't simply choose a material because it's nice. It needs to be responding to the location's climate. Okay, and then of course the season and different times of day. Okay, so these are factors that you need to consider because they are designed based on different factors of different variabilities. Okay. Okay, so when you design a building or a space, try to design to make it sense or behave according to the weather patterns. Okay, for example, if you look at this image on the first image, the first top right image on the right. Okay, so this is the green wall. I'm assuming is installed on a building wall. Okay, so this is a wall that this is how it looks like during winter. Okay, so this designer has taken into account the fact that in winter some of the plants that they have chosen will dry out. Okay, and then some will stay on. So I'm imagining in summer the whole wall will be filled with vegetation, but during winter, you can see strips of vegetation. So it's taken consideration between the two seasons and how it will look like during different seasons. Okay, and I'm also assuming that in autumn, okay, so this is I'm referring to a design that is in a temperate or a four seasons country. So in autumn, it may be that the changes of color as well. So you can see the user can see the differences of the changes of the design of the landscape during different times of the year. Okay. And then try to also imagine your design to transiently change a building's behavioral language according to solar intensity, precipitation, or wind intensity. Okay, so this image on the bottom here, okay, this architect is taking into account where the sun direction is located at different times of the day. Okay, because he or she has played with the columns in the sense that it creates a shadow reflecting on the wall and the trees. So imagine at different times of the day the pattern is different. Okay, because the shadow is responding to the sun's direction. So at different times of the day it's different, and at night time there's no shadow at all, so the wall will just be a plain wall. Okay. So those are just some of the examples of what you can do as a designer to respond to different weather patterns and different microclimatic elements. Okay, so this is another example of climate responsive building design strategies to create a resiliencies to maybe the changing climate. Okay, so when I mean, I'm not very well versed in architecture, so I'll just give you a very basic example. Okay, so when you design a building, a structure, try to think about how you can, if it's in a hot climate, try to think about how you can, what you can do in order to naturally cool the space. Okay, so identify where the solar radiation is coming from. Okay, so where the heat gains is going to be at. Okay, so you will then know where to create a ventilation point or ventilation window. Okay, in order to create natural cooling. Okay, instead of turning on the aircon or the AC all the time, try to make use of the nature in order to be more sustainable with your design. Okay, so that is just the facade only, and then you can also think about integrating these different natural elements such as green roofs, okay, trees within a courtyard, and plants and whatever, which also has proven to help with regulating temperatures, whether it's inside or outside a certain building. Okay, so this goes the same with the landscape designers. Okay, so when you, because the trees or nature is different in terms of structure and therefore function, you need to understand, as landscape designers, for example, you need to understand what type of tree structures that you need in order to create a buffer, in order to avoid sound, to filter air pollution. Okay, you need a lush type of greeneries, okay, which is evident here, for example, on the top image on the left. Okay, but if you want something to be more open, more airy, you want wind to come through, then you'd want your structures to be very sparsely arranged. Okay, even the canopy wouldn't be as lush or as big as the photo on the left. Okay, because your design intention is different. So it really depends on your what you are trying to achieve with your design, and that is depending on a certain location, a certain concept, a certain user's requirement. Okay. Okay, so then we now go to the human-nature relationship. Okay, so when we design, there and mostly we design for the people, okay, for the user, unless you are doing a specific design for animals, for plants. That's obviously a different case, but most of the time we design for the user, for the people. Okay, so it's really it will be beneficial for you to understand the user's relationship with nature. Okay, and you need to understand how the user or the occupant of your building, for example, how they like to experience the nature. Okay, in order for you to provide for them, to provide these nature experience for them. Okay, whether it's in their daily lives, in their homes, in their workplace, or wherever, whether it's a public park. Okay, because different people experience and views nature differently. Okay, so for example, maybe one person prefers a sunny day and hates rainfall, rainy days, just simply because he doesn't like to see outside. It's so gloomy, it's rainy, okay, and he doesn't like it. But another person appreciates it differently. Okay, this another person may actually enjoy the rain. They like to hear the rainfall falling on roofs or whatever, because it gives them some sort of a sense of tranquility, serenity, for example. Okay, so so different people experience and values nature differently. So when you design, you need to understand the user's value for nature. What is it that they want? What is it that they need? Okay, what is it that they aspire, in order for you to provide to give a positive impact to them based on your design. Okay, so it may be that they are looking for spiritual well-being, or social well-being, psychological well-being, or even physical well-being. So you need the point is, you need to understand who you are designing for. Okay, so if you are designing for children, the requirements for the design will be different than when you are designing for a teenager or an adult, for example. Okay, you cannot say like this design is for I mean, you can, but you need to understand the user on what is required for them in your integration of nature. Okay. Okay, so then again, the purpose of your design and integration with nature shall meet your user's needs and aspiration. So some user within a certain building may want, greeneries to regulate temperature for thermal comfort. Okay, and also maybe improve air quality. But on a different situation, on a different location, another user may not need that, but they actually need noise absorption because, for example, their workplace is noisy and it's distracting the quality of work, for example. So you need to understand the context of your user, the background of your user, and what is it that they aspire in their day-to-day life. Okay. Okay, so this is an example of a garden, the Shanghai garden. Okay, so this garden is a multi-sensory design that instills the 5 senses of human interaction with spatial design. So this design actually focuses on integrating the sense of smell in design. So this designer have used different sense of plants, of horticulture, of plants, to offer a surreal experience and maybe help bring back memory, as well as engaging user in fostering a serene environment. So the aim of this you'd say design that integrates with nature is specifically to integrate this smell feeling, this scent feeling. Okay, so you would know the user that goes into this space or this design all the five senses will be activated. Okay, so that there will be a touch, feel, and also the sense of smell. So this is an example. Okay, so then we go into a nature immersion. Okay, so where you create a design that is one with nature. Okay, a design that can become one with nature. Okay, so you consider taking your occupants or your user on a journey to experience the nature at its fullest. Okay, and it is an approach to seek to connect building occupants or space user more closely to nature. Okay, it's very self-explanatory. Okay, design, you immerse the nature within your design. Okay, this is I'm going to briefly talk about biophilic design concept. Okay, and basically biophilic design concept is when you fully integrate nature within your design. Okay, so biophilic comes from the word bio, which is relating to life, and then philic, which is relating to appreciation of a specific thing. Okay, humankind's innate biological connection with nature, what we like to, is why we like to experience nature. So I'll give you maybe an example of why is it that people actually enjoy. I mean, like for me personally, I enjoy listening to the crackling sound of fire. Okay, I don't know why, but apparently it's because we humans have this biological connection with fire, not with fire, with nature. Okay, and then another example is crashing waves. Okay, some people actually just enjoy going to the beach, not to swim, but just to listen to the sound of the waves. Okay, because it gives them some sort of a serenity, peacefulness. Okay, it relates to our psychological behavior, our uh, um, our feeling, our emotions. Okay, so this allows for the cultivation of a relationship between humans and nature. Okay, biophilic design concept. So it reflects direct nature, indirect nature, as well as space and place conditions. Okay, as a concept, the purpose is to keep occupants or users immersed in nature as much time as possible. So you want to create the most natural looking environment for your user, but it's a built environment. It's not an actual nature. Okay, it's about bringing the outside into the inside. The outside element inside a certain structure or building. Okay, it creates a symbiotic relationship with the natural element, allowing wildlife and vegetation to weave around man-made structures, or vice versa. Okay, and some of the components of incorporating this biophilic design concept is using fresh air. Okay, so it's for you, because like I said, it's for the user to be immersed in nature as much as possible and as long as possible. And so this involves using natural uh, natural air. Okay, natural air, natural light, incorporating plants. Okay, and the list is here. You can have a look here. Okay, and the sound of water, sound of birds, for example, and using the colors of nature. Okay, this is the Falling Water House in Pennsylvania. I think a lot of you have heard about this house before. I think it's one of the iconic iconic biophilic design. Okay, so if you can see here, hang on. Okay, the image on the right. Okay, you can see that this designer actually uses so he wanted to create this structure, this house in this very location. and there is a natural river flowing by. So instead of, you know, locating the house next to a river, for example, he uses the river which flows, he uses the river integrated within the architectural design. So you can see here the image, the river is a part of the design, it's a part of the house. Okay, he took advantage of the natural element instead of separating it. Okay, instead of building the house on the side, and then the occupant had to walk maybe a certain meters to go to experience the river. It is integrated within the house design. Okay, so this is a very good example of how you can design with nature harmoniously. Okay. Okay, so this is another example, a different example. Okay, so this is the New York High Line. I'm pretty sure I'm giving you examples that are quite well known. Okay, because I mean there's a reason why they're actually well known. So this is the New York High Line. A designer created a a railway that has not been used for a long time, and created the railway to become a park. Okay, so instead of the railway being a left and abandoned space, it has been created as a park, which is successfully experienced by New York City residents. Okay. Okay, so this is one that is close to home. This is Changi Airport in Singapore. Okay, so this designer has created this biophilic design by incorporating a waterfall, a big waterfall, and lush greeneries into an airport mall. Okay, so the purpose is not for purely aesthetically to please the user aesthetically, but it also relieves shoppers' fatigue and plays with psychological and emotion of the user. Okay, like I said, it gives you the sense of it plays with your senses. You know, the sound of waterfall. Okay, it has been proven to release stress or fatigue. Okay, so these are some of the examples. I'm not going to go very detailed into this. I think you can just Google these designs to know more about it. Okay, and then lastly, I think the incorporations of green roofs and living walls. Okay, so this is a very common integration of nature within a building, within a structure that is now currently being implemented in many countries, even Malaysia, and I'm sure in India too, because it's not to say the easiest, but it's more approachable. So the green roofs can provide user with a place where they can physically and mentally take a break, okay, from whatever their daily lives is, for example. Okay, it provides a space or greenery, a green space within a city, for example, where there is a limitation of space, for example. Okay, so this is another example of integrating nature within your design structures. Okay, so I think that's all from me. Thank you very much. If there is any questions, feel free to ask away. So I think I'll just pass to Dr. Faizal now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hannah. Okay, guys, do you have any questions to ask Dr. Hannah? This is the good time, yeah, to ask Dr. Hannah on how to do observation, how to evaluate, yeah, the site analysis, yeah. Maybe you guys can get some input from Dr. Hannah. Miss student from Sasi also can ask, yeah, any questions? Okay, I have a question to Dr. Hannah.
Okay.
Dr. Hannah, as you can see that now Malaysia have major problems in flooding, right? So what do you think about that issues? Like it seems like it's still going on and on and on, and the smart tunnel also cannot like give solution. Yeah. Not I don't know like but I think like that smart tunnel it seems like is it really works to ensure that KL is okay from the flooding, yeah, from the flood. So what do you think about this current issue?
Okay. Wow. It's a very, very difficult questions. Okay. In my opinion, because I think that type of question is best directed to probably engineers, okay, rather than as to me as a landscape architect. But um, in terms of what I have presented here, in terms of incorporating nature, okay, what I found is because I have been looking into my research covers the topic of helping to reduce flooding or stormwater runoff, and there are different types of strategies in which we can help in reducing flooding or stormwater runoff, especially in urban areas, and which is I think by the integration of, like I mentioned before, green infrastructures, bioswales, green roofs, green walls, all of those integration of nature actually do help with reducing surface runoff in urban areas. Okay. However, because of the flood that has been occurred in Malaysia in the past week or so, I admit I don't think in terms of vegetation there's not much that we can do because there's a limit to how much different vegetation to how much plants or a natural system can actually absorb water. So I think that is more relating to our changing climate issue. Okay, so it really about how we try to reduce as much impact to the global warming, because all of those actually impacted on the unpredictability of weather patterns. Okay, but in terms of like providing extra drainage, extra maybe storage in urban areas, I think I'm not really well versed in terms of that. I think that's more of a engineering solution because it's very limited on what we as designers can actually help. We can help in terms of reducing the first, I guess, a few millimeters of rain in terms of absorbing them into our natural system, our natural system through infiltrations, through using bioswales, using rain gardens, using all those sustainable urban drainage systems. But there's really not much we can do in terms of avoiding that big of a flood. Yeah, so that's, I think, my opinion on my take on it.
So Dr. Hannah, we have questions in the chat box. Yeah.
Stop sharing.
From Carol. Yeah. What are the methods to integrate nature into design? And how do we relate topography into the design of a structure to make it look more natural?
Okay. Okay. Let me. What are the methods to integrate nature into design? How do we relate topography into the design of a structure to make it look more natural? Okay, in terms of topography, first of all, you need to understand what the topography looks like. Okay, and then if there are possibilities of, say, for example, running water or drainage issues because of the topography, you need to your the bottom part of your site needs to be needs to be able to have the system to catch water. For example, if you are looking into a drainage design solutions. But other than that, I think topography can be made into many design interventions. For example, like amphitheaters. Okay, so it does look very natural, but then it's also functional for social interaction purposes. Okay. I guess a lot of time is made into amphitheaters or sitting areas, which doesn't totally cut off the slope. For example, if you are referring to slopes, but it made the slope or the topography to be more functional than what it actually is. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hannah. That answered my question.
Okay, you're welcome. Any other questions?
Yeah, we have more questions there from Tiru Venkata Ramanan.
Dr. Faisal,
Yes.
we also have a question from Prof. Sam here.
Yeah.
I think are you able to see the question?
Yes, I can see the question. I think is it okay if I go through the list one by one from
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I hope I'm able to answer all these questions. So thank you everyone for this very interactive session. So how can we adapt to new working environments or spaces in landscape designing? Is it just based on the experience of the designer? No, that's why I said in terms for a designer's job is, yes, they have the capability and the skills to design, but they have to understand who they are designing for. Okay, so if you are designing for a working group of people, so you need to experience the site or the building and see what is it that they need, what is it that they already have, what is it that they need, what is the current situation of the site, in order for you to provide them the most not to say efficient, the most comfortable experience for the user. Because it's mainly when we design something, you don't think it as something for yourself. Okay, to yes, to some extent, but it's mainly to whoever is using the site or the space. So you need to maybe undertake a user analysis. So who is the user? What is the background of the user? What do they do on a daily basis at the workplace? Okay, in order for you to provide what they need. Okay. Did that answer your question, Tiru Venkata?
It's not done.
Okay. All right. So the next question is, during inventory site analysis process, is it necessary to know the analysis of neighboring sites? Not necessarily. It's I mentioned this before. When you do a site analysis, it's good to know the site context, or the neighboring site. Okay, the what you can say, but not necessarily the analysis of the neighboring site or the site context. You need to know because you want to relate your design to the site next, surrounding your space that you are designing, but not necessarily to know into detail about why they put that there. It's good to know, but you don't need to, because you just need to know the existing features of the neighboring sites and why are they and what you can do to cater or to complement to respond to whatever is on the context or surrounding your space, your design. Okay. In terms of natural cooling and design, what is the relation, doctor? For example, how the airflow through our building. Okay, I think I might pass this to an architect, maybe Dr. Faizal or Dr. Khairul Anwar, because I'm not very well versed in terms of ventilation within a building because my background is landscape architecture, so I'm not really sure about natural cooling. But in terms of what I have presented earlier, what the relation is that whatever, when you want to design, for example, a house or a building or a structure, you need to understand where wind is coming from. Okay, you need to understand where the sun is direction, where the sun is, the sun path, where it rises, where it sets. Okay, maybe for view purposes. For in terms of cooling, if you know where the wind direction is coming from naturally, then you might want to create a ventilation point or a window through where the side of the wind is coming from for natural cooling, instead of you having to block the wind direction using a wall, and then you'd have to turn on the aircon or the fan all the time. It's not really sustainable. I'm not sure if I've got that correctly, Dr. Faizal. Maybe you can add on to that since it's not within my expertise.
Okay, Muntaha, based on your questions, yeah, well, actually it depends on the maintenance, yeah, maintenance issues, yeah. Like in Malaysia, I have seen they use like internal vertical plant, yeah, in their building, yeah. However, after a certain period, they replace it with the artificial plant, yeah. so the issue is like, how are you going to, can you maintain that building, yeah? So you need that, you have to think about it after you build that building, after you install that vertical plant, whatever. Make sure you know how to maintain after you hand over that building, yeah. So yeah, against it's quite disappointed to see why they design, like they have a vertical plant, but unfortunately they changed into artificial plant, yeah. Like in Johor, in Forest City, yeah, they declare that they are Forest City, but actually we go closer, yeah, to that vertical plant, it is artificial plant. Yeah, so that's too bad. Yeah. Okay, back to you, Tahana.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Faizal. So I think I'll go on to the next question. Is it obligatory for us to look at the contextual analysis of sites such as water, sunlight, etc., before designing a particular space? I mean, when you say the word obligatory, I don't want to use the word obligatory, but it is the design process. It is a part of the design process. So, for example, I would say yes, you need to identify the water, the sunlight before you create a space, because you want to create something that responds to the site. Okay, you can, because otherwise you can just do, for example, a landscape design or a building anywhere else in the world without considering the site. Okay, so yes, you need to, for example, if there are water bodies, you need to identify what is the water bodies, where is it flowing to, what is it, how is the drainage, if there is heavy rainfall, is it going to affect your site? Okay, you need to take all those into consideration. That's why we as designers, it's all that we do is being carefully thought about, thought of. Okay, we're not simply designing just on paper. No, it needs to relate to the site. Okay, so the same with sunlight. Okay, so when you are, for example, I think one of the person asking the question is one of my students. Okay, so when you create a landscape space or a design or a garden or a park, you are not considering the sunlight, and then you are just providing, for example, you say you are creating a shady space in a certain location, but without considering why you are putting it there, why you are locating it there at that particular space. But when the sun actually rises, it doesn't even hit that spot, it hits a different spot, so your shady area becomes it becomes non-functional shade. Okay, so when you create it, you always need to think of the function. Okay, I think I've been taught about this from when I was a student to when whatever you do, form must always follow after function. Okay, so don't try to create something that's unjustified for. Okay, Azhar?
Okay, doctor. Thank you.
Okay. So the next one is I want to ask if the creation of such architecture that merges with the nature will give such disadvantage with the habitats or climates. Okay, that's why I mentioned you need to know what is the wildlife, what is the biodiversity that exists on your site. Okay, you need to know what is there in order for you to design better whether it will disrupt, whether it will disturb habitats or not. Okay, and usually you try to create something along the line with harmonizing with the existing habitat. Okay, I think it's the same with climates. Okay, when you I think now sustainable, because like landscape architecture, we always strive for something that uh, uh, that try that what do you say, that tries to maintain a good relationship with the climate and that sort of stuff. And I'm sure even the architecture now is also doing the same thing. Okay, sustainable architecture, sustainable landscapes, because we want to um, try, because what people have done in like the past few decades is not destroyed, but like I said before, intervened. We have altered um, the nature, okay, and that is not something that we really have control over because of the increasing urban population and therefore increasing urbanization, and that those intervention with the natural ecosystem will need to be taken, okay, in order to cater for the people of the planet. But the way you design is need to consider all of this. Okay, when you try to, for example, if you want to chop down trees, try to minimize removal of trees. Okay, you may want to relocate rather than totally remove them, or really work around or design around a certain a flow that exists within the landscape or the natural system. Okay. Farha, did I answer your question?
Clearly, doctor. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, I think that's all. Okay, I think there's one more question here. If a building was constructed wholly by glasses, is that building comes under natural design? I wouldn't say so. It depends on the it really when you say natural design, if you use glass as your material, I wouldn't say it's a natural design, but it depends on the integration with nature and how you have integrated nature within the design. Okay, but in terms of the material that you have mentioned, on my take, I wouldn't say it would be a natural design. I don't know, maybe Dr. Faisal has a different opinion, since it's more about materials of a certain structure.
Hi, Sunil. About the building was constructed wholly by glasses. Yeah. Uh, at one aspect, it looks like quite modern and high tech. Yeah. But again, it has to be like, where are you going to construct that building? Yeah. If you construct that building like tropical country or like Malaysia country, yeah, I think it is like not really suitable, yeah, because we are going to use like how to say more air conditioner, yeah, aircon, and then we have to how to say we have to buy some blind to cover up, yeah, for the certain area in the building, yeah. So it is something like not really works and not like how to say sustainable design, yeah. So again, you have to see that where are you going to construct that building, yeah? Like if you construct the holy glass building like in like maybe in UK, yeah, maybe in Japan, I think I should be like quite okay, yeah. But I don't think that is comes under natural design, yeah, because um, it is totally like how to say difference, yeah, from the surrounding area, yeah. Because normally if we have like a fully glass building, yeah, and it is like very modern, yeah, it's modern and high tech approach, yeah. So of course, if we compare to with the falling water house, yeah. So it obviously you can see the differences, yeah, between those building aspect. Mm. Sunil, Dr. Hannah, I think there's a questions about the I think from Prof Sam, yeah, the one that
Oh, which one did I
uh,
miss a question?
that presentation was good, too good, and the chosen image, the one.
Oh, from Khairul Anwar, is it?
Yes.
Okay, when okay. When you talked about site inventory and analysis, the pictorial presentation was too exhaustive. Will you be, for the benefit of year one students, break it up and give a detailed explanation, please? Yes, sure. Okay, just a moment. I think I know which one that Khairul Anwar is referring to. Khairul Anwar, is it this one? Or is it this one?
Dr. Hannah,
Yes.
I'm Karana, the student. So this question is actually from Prof. Sam. I think Prof. Sam can clarify.
Dr. Hannah, this is Sam here from Sasim. I'm talking about, can I just go to slide 15?
Is it this one?
Yep, right.
Okay. Okay, so you're referring to this one.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I think I'll just so here I can just show using my cursor. Okay, for this one, for the this is an example of an inventory and analysis process, or so for example, the designer has went to the site and has taken photos, for example, has taken photos, has jotted down the features of whatever is on the site. Okay, so if you see here, the building outline is the existing building and the site boundaries. Okay, so Dr. Faisal, can you see this annotation request? What do I do with
Um, uh, I think I think Carol is the host.
do I approve
Yes, Doctor.
or decline?
There's no notification from me for annotation.
Oh,
Okay, so what do I need to do for this one?
um, maybe you can see, in the slide present. I think it's in slide presentation is I think it's a marker. You, you want to marking, right? Like a
Oh, right. Okay, okay. I don't think you can. Can you see the annotation request ni? Joshua is requesting to annotate the shared content.
Oh, no. I don't see the request.
Oh, tak boleh nampak eh? You cannot
Tak
see.
nampak? No.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. Maybe it's just in my WebEx. Okay, okay. All right. So basically, okay, so I'll continue on. So this is where the site is, for example, okay, and this is where the existing building is. So this is the whatever the existing shrubs, existing tree. So it says here existing tree, small existing tree. So whatever is here, apart from the ones the shaped, okay, is the existing features on the site. Okay, so there's a fence here, there's an existing tree here, there's no fence here. And I think the reason why this designer indicated that there is no fence here is maybe there is something on the other side of that is outside the boundary that they feel like there should be a connection. Okay, maybe. And then here they've indicated this area is open and exposed feeling. Okay, they've also indicated the feeling that they had on the site rather than just the physical features. Okay, so here is the bioswale. So they mentioned here. I'm not sure if they mentioned any if they indicated any entrance point. I don't think they did. And here they've also indicated water down from the spout. So whatever water that is coming from the spout of the house here, it goes this way. So every detail elements on the site is being indicated on this plan. Okay, and why? Because it will affect the future design. Okay, so for example, if you ignore, okay, when you go to the site, if you see the water from the spout on like a roadside, for example, or a pathway, for example, but you ignored it, so how can you then create for example, a landscape design with that existing water running through the pathway? Okay, it just doesn't meet the site condition. Okay, so that's why whatever you see, any smell needs to be taken into consideration. So for example, if you go to a site and you see a very unpleasant view, okay, maybe a view of like the trash area, but although it is not within your site boundary, it needs to be written down and taken into consideration, because when you design, if you didn't put it in your site inventory analysis, or it's in your map of your site inventory, when you design, you wouldn't know that for example, you are creating a sitting area or a gathering area, but you have not indicated that it is next to a view of the trash area. Okay, do you know what I mean? So that's why whatever you see, you need to plot it down in your map. Where is the location? What is the feeling? What is the view? What is the smell? Apart from just the physical features. So when you have done that, so that is just the site inventory map, okay, or site inventory diagram or map, or whatever you want to call it, okay. So when you have done that, when you have done the listing or the identification of those features, okay, that's the easy part actually. That's just you writing down or jotting down what is available, and then the next stage is to analyze. Okay, analyze and synthesize your findings. Okay, so for example, on the image on the right here, so when you analyze, you start to think about okay, for example, if there was the trash area in your view of your site but not in your site, so what is it that you need to do? You need to create a buffer. Okay, you need to create a buffer using vegetation that are lush. Okay, that screen that blocks the view of the unpleasant view. Or maybe you start proposing vegetation with a very nice scent, a very nice smell. Okay, for the purpose of maybe reducing whatever smell that the trash area is giving. Okay, so that's what this designer did here. But I mean, the trash area was just an example. But this one, whatever that they have identified on the site that they feel is okay to be there, it won't disrupt my design, so they just maintain it there. Okay, so they maintain the swale. So this analysis plan is what action that you need to do after you've identified the features. Okay, so this designer has said, okay, here I want to add more trees for the shade. Okay, because in the existing site there are only 2 existing trees and I want more shades. Okay, so they propose more trees for shades. Okay, and then here where the water from the downspout here, okay, this water is just running on the ground, no, not on the ground, on the surface of the ground or pavement or whatever. So here what they've proposed is redirect water, relocate downspout. Okay, they are relocating. So what you need to do with the analysis is proposing, either you propose more of anything like trees for shades, trees for buffer, and then you relocate. Okay, and then you also remove. Okay, so here they've also proposed add color. Okay, add fill to low area. Keep the views open. They want to keep this view open. Okay, and then maybe add more plants and trees here. Okay, so this is in landscape perspective, and I think to some extent will also relate to architecture practice also, because whatever when you create a structure where your opening is, for example, your door, your windows will need to reflect on what is the outside, on what is on the outside of the building structure. So it is the same. So whatever is on the side, you don't want it, you remove it, or if you are looking outside the window, you don't like the view, you block it with a different landscape design that you feel is more appropriate and suitable to your aspiration or to your liking, for example. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, Dr. Hannah, thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
So any more questions, guys? Maybe from Sasi. Any more questions? All right. I think there are no. I think there are no more questions. No questions. Okay. So, right. Before we end, yeah, can we take a group photo? Yeah.
Sure.
Everyone, please switch on your camera. Farha. Okay. Okay. Azad Sikri. Okay. Okay, I will take a photo. Yeah. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, next page. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. All right. So I think, yeah, the rest, you don't open the camera. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you so much, Dr. Hannah, yeah, for the great lectures, yeah. And I believe that all our students, yeah, and get many input, yeah, from your lecture, because I think this week they have to go to the site and have to do this site inventory, yes, and then site analysis, yeah. So, so
Yeah.
I think your lectures like the right time, yeah, for for our student.
Well, I'm glad to know that. Thank you so much, Dr. Faisal, and for having me. I hope it's been beneficial to the students.
Yeah,
Okay,
of
and
course, yeah.
that they understand on how to do site inventory and analysis in a more clear manner.
Okay, right. So, is there any more questions? Last? No? Okay, all right. So thanks again, Dr. Hannah, yeah,
So much.
for joining this event, yeah.
Um,
And I hope that we can invite you again, yeah, for the
Sure,
next event.
I'll invite you now, next Dr. Faisal.
Oh, sure, thank you. And thank you, Prof. Sam, for joining us, yeah, and the rest of the lecture from Sasi and the student from Sasi. Thank you so much for joining this event, and thank you for the questions, yeah. And the rest, the students, yeah, thank you for actively participate, yeah, for in the Q&A session, yeah. I hope all of you, the students, get benefit from this session, yeah. So I think, yeah, that's all from now, yeah. Hope to see you again, yeah, in the next program, yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
everyone. Have a nice day.
Okay, yeah. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, yeah. Bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.